Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit?
If you were paying attention to the government shutdown a couple of months ago, there was one critical issue in America driving it.
Subsidies that help people buy Affordable Care Act health insurance.
Tens of millions of people are going to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles.
Republicans who have mostly railed against the Affordable Care Act for 15 years know privately that this is a huge problem, particularly for them.
93% of those 24 million people are getting federal help paying their health care premiums. More than 3/4 of the people who have ACA plans actually live in states that President Trump won.
This week, Republican senators offered what they said was an alternative to those subsidies.
Everybody up to age 49 gets $1,000 into their health savings account. Those over 49 get $1,500. You can use it for your doctor visit, your x-rays, to see your dentist, your glasses, your prescriptions. This is real medical care.
Unfortunately, what it actually is real bullshit. There are three fundamental problems here. I'm going to very quickly break down why this is a ripoff, a death spiral swindle, and a weird piece of deep bullshit hypnosis that Republicans have put themselves under. Problem one is that the Republican plan is simply a swindle. Instead of our government helping less wealthy Americans afford insurance, they're trying to tempt people by waving some cash in their face. But here's the reality. The Republican plan would force people into high deductible plans, as high as $10,000 for individuals and $21,000 for households. And the cash that they're giving you can't be used to pay for premiums. Health savings accounts are great if you're running to CVS for a prescription or you want to pay out of pocket for a really low-cost service like a basic checkup with your doctor. But it's not a replacement for health insurance because the average cost of a 3-day hospital stay is around $30,000. A commonly prescribed cancer treatment costs $12,000 a month. Fixing a broken leg costs up to $7,500. Medical costs for the average diabetic are over $1,000 a month. An MRI costs $1,300. A chest CT runs over $700. Getting $1,500 and getting forced into a $10,000 or $20,000 high deductible plan, or trying to cover the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of medical expenses you might rack up out of pocket, would be a catastrophe for all but wealthy families. Problem number two is, even if you think, well, this won't apply to me, I don't qualify for ACA subsidies, what Republicans are doing here sets up the potential for a death spiral. Why? Because of how insurance pooling works.
If insurers group people exposed to similar risks, they can broadly predict the number and size of losses in that group. As only some of the policyholders will suffer a loss in a year, insurers collect the amount of premium from the many that is needed to build up the fund, or pool to pay the claims of the few.
The whole idea of the Affordable Care Act was to mandate that everyone have insurance so that we'd all be in the pool together. But what the Republican plan would do is to force healthier people into high deductible or catastrophic plans, or off health insurance coverage entirely, leaving relatively sicker people concentrated in the more comprehensive plans that they need. That means the remaining risk pool at the gold or silver level would have higher average costs, forcing insurers to raise premiums.
What's a death spiral?
When premiums go up, you tend to lose the healthiest part of your market. People that you're left with are sicker than average, and it means premiums have to go up to account for that. And who does it push out? It pushes out the people that are the most healthy. So you get this sort of unwinding of the market from premium increases and diminished enrollment.
What Republicans have set up here has the serious potential to make prices explode for everyone. But what's really bullshit is issue number three, the way Republicans have hypnotized themselves into a weird zombie hatred of the Affordable Care Act, because it's actually all their idea in the first place. The whole idea for the setup of the ACA came from the Heritage Foundation back in 1989 in a lecture by Stuart Butler, then a health economist there. It's what Mitt Romney used when he put in his Massachusetts plan in the mid-2000s, which became the basis for the ACA. But of course, as soon as Barack Obama adopted it,
When Barack Obama became president in 2009, 45 million Americans were uninsured. By 2016, nearly 20 million previously uninsured people had acquired health care.
they turned against it, especially when he leaned into embracing the label Obamacare. Despite trying to repeal, defund, or gut the Affordable Care Act,
By 2014, Republicans in the House of Representatives had already voted more than 50 times to repeal the measure.
the one thing Republicans have never been able to do is explain the replacement part of their repeal and replace mantra.
I am also calling on this Congress to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Just this week, House Speaker Mike Johnson met with House Republicans to show them ideas for what they might try to offer, and the bottom line was they have no idea. One of their bullet points simply said, innovation. Great, if I break my arm, give me some of that innovation. Look, it's easy to go after insurance companies. I'm not trying to pretend that they're heroes. But if we're going to have health insurance be a business in America, if we're going to have healthcare be a business in America, then this is the best idea that conservatives and liberals have come up with to try to make the system work and to give people the healthcare that should be a basic right. What Republicans are offering is not our birthright, but a mess of pottage. And that is bullshit.